are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up, everyone? Are you serious?
Yes.
That's what that was?
Yes.
You heard that, right?
I did hear it.
Oh, boy. Okay. Hey, what is up, everyone? My name is Frank Castle, and I'm your Sorcerer Supreme right here every Saturday night, the best night in radio on Truth Frequency Radio. And I'm sitting here. It's been a month, I think, since Paula has been back on the show. Or we took a little break because we were sick.
Really? Has it been that long?
Yeah. Welcome back to the show, Etherical Translator.
Don't call it a comeback.
She's been here for years.
I've been here for years. I'm good.
In the other room sleeping.
I'm good. It's just been a period of time of sickness and death and more sickness and more death. It's just.
Why is that?
This was just a rough month to get through.
Talk to me about this for a moment. Before we start, hold on. Before we start every show, we like to give a special shout out to Chris and Cherie Gio. Thank you guys so much. Without you, we wouldn't be here doing this like this. Shout outs to everybody in the chat room. We love you. Fearless family, we love you. Don't forget to go to IamWeAreFearless.com and check everything out and get a subscription for Truth Frequency.
Yeah, there's one for everyone.
Okay, so where were we?
It's just been a heavy month.
Why?
I don't know.
What are we moving through at this point?
Oh, we're definitely moving. We're collectively, we are all moving through something.
What would you describe? I'm gonna get all interviewer on you. What would you describe visually watching me? Because you went through it secondary, I thought, to me, like the sickness.
Oh, the sickness.
So what would you describe that as when you saw that?
Oh, it was like a demon possession. It was horrible when you were sick. Yeah, when Frank gets sick, he doesn't get sick often, but when he gets sick, he gets really sick. And I just got touches of everything, but I was sick. But not like you.
But there was something more than just the sickness happening.
Oh, there was definitely an upgrade happening. We've been, and that's what I mean by this has been a horrible month. I mean, the October into November, it's been sleeping in shifts, strange dreams, strange things occurring in the house.
That's right, sleeping in shifts. When that stuff starts happening, I've warned a bunch of the hosts. Gio and I have spoken about this before. That's when you're getting paid visits. Everyone starts.
It's like we just know it's a very strange thing.
One person goes down, the other one's there to watch everything that's going on, run the house, everything. And as soon as that person gets up, there's like a half hour, an hour overlay where we could lay down together or whatever. You know, the witching hour's already gone. It's already done. 3 a.m. already gone by. 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, and then boom, you're up, and I'm down, and I'm down to 11, and you're up.
There were times when literally you just came to bed. It was like 4:30, and we were in the same bed sleeping for 15 minutes, and then 4:45 I was up and out of the bed. And, you know, I mean, I don't want to get up this early in the morning, especially now. I'm not working. I'm healing from my injuries. And well, not my injuries, my medical condition, but
no, but that's truth within truth.
but the cats, I mean, they start at 4:45 in the morning, and I don't know what about that, what it is about that time, but it's always like 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Look, she's looking right at me as I say this.
Yeah,
I think they're coming through the upgrades with us.
No, I do, because they were sick as well. I mean, the whole household was sick. Then your mom got sick, and I mean, everyone around us has been sick.
Everyone throwing up.
I was the only one that didn't do that this time.
And I was going, oh no, this is terrible. But something more to just the sickness, because day 2 of going through it, I was already feeling the badge of honor. Like, you can't take this with you. There's no way what's happening to me is just the violent throwing up for 2 days, 3 days. There's more to it. You can feel the junk disconnecting from your system. The first time I drank Aya, when I purged, threw up, and then went to the bathroom, it strained me, like in my chest and in my back and everywhere else.
Well, of course, yeah.
Because of and they say that's the release. You're releasing the demon. You're clearing out the clogs. Aya's working through you and all that.
You're releasing toxins.
That exactly. So my take on it was, at one point there was nothingness, and then more was coming, and I'm like, you can't. My thought was, that can't come. That can't come with us, Frank. Like, that part of you is leaving.
You need to leave it
whatever
behind.
Came out of me.
You need to shed it. Mm-hmm.
My pores opened like a sponge, and then the sweat that was coming out of me, it didn't even make sense. But then I started thinking of it as a complete body reset. Instead of, all right, remember we talk about, you could come from 2 different ways with this, love or fear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so during that time, I was like, I could be cranky Frankie, right? Or I can be like, nah, this is gonna happen. Well, we're gonna walk through this fire regardless. Listen, it's not easy. Paula will tell you I am the biggest baby in the universe. She might have heard me in my. It's so unsexy of me. Sometimes I wonder, when you look at me, like, how do you still find the attraction?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Because of me going, oh, Jesus, no. My new neighbor must have thought I was.
Frank was moaning so loud from the pain that the new neighbor heard him. And when they saw each other outside, I guess they met over garbage night. And the new neighbor was saying, hey, if you need anything, call me.
Yeah. Just don't hesitate, man. If it's getting like that.
No, that doesn't bother me. It's the when you scream, "Don't touch me."
Don't touch me.
I'm so cold. Or, don't touch me. Don't talk to me.
I was laying there not moving, and then you touched me, and I'd scream.
Yeah. That's all right, though.
But since then, though, like, I've lost a ton of weight. Right?
Yeah, so
my body's resetting.
Frank lost 9 pounds with this last illness. 9 pounds. Paula was sick for probably the same amount of time. And Paula did not lose 9 pounds. Paula lost 0 pounds. But that's okay.
Okay, so during this downtime, because we all react to it differently, we start sleeping in cycles again.
Oh, yeah. Back to it. Yeah.
No,
seriously. Sleeping in cycles. And there's a lot of drama around us knocking at the door. It's like it's not getting in, but it's
I can hear you knocking.
Yeah, but they can't come in. It's like the drama is circling. Breathe, Frank. It's the drama is circling like a shark. And I know for a lot of our FearLess family, it's the same way. And it's like you're all reporting the same stories. It's like, this crazy way of living.
Repeating of like past emotions coming up. I thought I dealt with this.
Yeah, I thought I dealt with this. Oh, and moves. People are just getting up and leaving and moving and making changes and purging. I mean, again, the recycling went out for us this week, and I threw something else away. I said every week, one thing has to go. One thing has to go. And, now like I joke, Frank, I wear ugly, well, I don't think they're ugly, but I wear a lot of cardigan sweaters, and Frank calls them ugly old lady sweaters. So I'm down to just a couple of them now because I donated the rest of them because I can't take the mocking of the sweaters. So
The Fozzie Bear sweater.
shut up.
It looked like
So,
Sherman's mother
shut
got run
up.
over. The orange mist, the poor thing. He was sleeping in it, and it looked like he was in the dead husk of a relative.
Oh, that's awful, Frank. That's awful.
I can bring it right back down.
Okay.
Again.
Okay. May I remind you
No, I know.
that you have a man shawl and you look wonderful, but that's okay. Make fun of my sweater.
It's a shaman.
Okay, so I understand that, but my sweater is for warmth, okay? Because it's cold in this apartment. It's for warmth, and so I got rid of a lot of the sweaters apparently that offend Frank.
No, that wasn't it. She went. Paula went on. We're trying to stay funny with it, but honestly, she got up one day and said, and this was within a month, like a month ago.
Oh yeah, this was like
or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
You did something amazing in here. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You cleared out 30% more.
Yeah, and you said I couldn't do it.
I said you couldn't do it.
You
And
said I couldn't do it.
I thought it would be dipping in. See, you're supposed to not walk naked or just with a robe on your back or without attachment. It's when you're piling this stuff up, and like this is what you were saying to me. Those clothes, most of the stuff I got rid of, and we gave our stuff to Salvation
Yes,
Army.
so we donated it. Yeah,
We donated, but most of that stuff is when I was this weight, and I'll never be back at that weight again, but I'm holding on to it like I might. And I'm like, I made a joke. I said, I have one pair of shorts that are 34, right? And I have one, and I'm like, if I ever fit into those again,
yeah.
I'll look like, I'll be jacked out of my face on the beach again.
Oh, I know.
And
I have
the answer to that
jeans.
is that ain't going to happen. Get rid of those shorts, right? But you hold on to them. But when you have 50 of those things,
Yeah.
or 100 of those things, or 30% is like that metaphorically across the board,
I had
and just filling up space.
I had to dress for work.
Creating
I had
clutter.
to dress business casual. So because I'm a petite size, it was hard for me to find work pants. So when I found work pants, I would always buy, if I could afford it, I would buy doubles. So I had gone through, I cleared out, we had to do the summer winter clothes, and I had cleared out every closet. I cleared out all the bins, everything. And I threw away, there were 4 large totes for Salvation Army. And I had work pants in these bins that were too small, they were, if I lost weight, work pants. And there must have been about 7 pairs of pants.
Yeah. Well,
in there. And
okay,
they don't even fit now.
Okay, but
and
I
I don't need them because I don't need to dress that way anymore. I live in yoga pants
prior
now.
to Paula building up this momentum and then just going, it has to go. You would watch her scramble crazy back and forth, realizing something's about to happen. Then her going, you know what's going to happen? And then, and then it actually occurring. Okay, so she ramped up, removed the clutter. When that clutter was removed, you started facing some new emotions.
Oh, I
with
did.
Friends, family, this, that, or the other thing.
Oh yeah, a lot of.
I don't want to bring up anything specific.
No, nothing bad. It was just
what I'm saying is,
a lot of crying. And I'm not
like the M&M cleaning out your closet thing.
I
You
have
cleared out your
never.
closet,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, flushing, like you were like, it's clean, and then flushing waves of
emotions, a lot of
and
emotions,
realizations,
Yeah.
and then coming to terms with. And I'm like, where is all this coming from? I thought we dealt with all this, and then I dealt with it. Was happening to me. I'm no different. It happens just slightly different, but
yeah, and my aunt passed on November 1st, and Ra, the Eye of Ra, the show that the shout outs to Ra, the show that comes on before us. He mentioned All Saints Day on his show, and it was it was her second anniversary of her passing, and it was. I wasn't as sad as I was the previous year, and I really was trying to have I was telling funny stories. I had happy thoughts. but it still hurts. You look at your life and you look at the loved ones around you and you really try to evaluate and really see what's important. And, Frank and I were talking about this, and it's not, we do a lot of work collectively as a group and as a part of this FearLess family. And that's wonderful. It's great that we can all work collectively, but you do need to work on yourselves individually.
No matter how much I work with anyone in the group or us together, is it like we'll handle this as a team, we're leveling up together. That's great and dandy. But at the end of the day, you're in the shower by yourself and you have to be like, okay, look, I got support, but I have to walk through this fire. So you become like, there's these personal things that you go through that people don't discuss, that things come up like divorces, parents, children. What did we have happen in the house? We got a phone call and all of a sudden we were like, whoa, this girl's ready to, blow shop, right? Right in the middle of, would you expect this? And you can see one person's clouded and isn't accepting any new programming, and the other one's releasing it all and crying, going, I have to get back to my something, but I'm not sure. And it becomes these family ripples of drama, but everyone is beginning to pop up around. Like if you're surrounded by the NPCs and you're like, I'm kind of surrounded by NPCs, I got to reach out because I have to. And it's like, well, what is it? You have to, whatever that is, you have to do it. You have
to, though. You have to. Yes, you have to take care of yourself. You really do. So I needed to take care of myself. And
because if you don't,
no one,
how much group meditation, it's not going to help you if you're not doing your own personal.
No one is going to say, Paula, take the time for yourself and, mean it, because they don't realize it. And we were talking about this the other day. If you appear fine, people think you're fine. If you don't let them know, today's not a good day for me. Today is a hard day for me. I talk about it all the time. Sometimes you have to go hour by hour, and it's rough because there are like when I go through it or I experience, I'm like, part of me is like, oh God, you should know better than this. But then no, I'm human and I have human emotions and human feelings. And
well, you're supposed to experience that.
And yeah, you are supposed to experience it, and you're supposed to experience it and embrace it and live it and love it and smell it and feel it, because it's a part of why you are here.
Yeah, it's the great all reason.
So you really need to take
People are like,
time.
What's my purpose? And I'm like, you're here. That's your purpose, is being here, holding that light.
But you need to take time to realize that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, not all of us are going to ever find what our true purpose is.
You can't make an informed decision from a place of non-clarity. If you're not correct in your head, how do you think you're making a right decision?
No, you can't make healthy decisions.
Right? You can't make big decisions, sign contracts, do all kinds of business moves, and this, that.
You need to take care of yourself.
I got to help my kid. I got to help my husband. I got to help my wife. I got to do this, that. But where was I got to help myself for a moment. Mm-hmm. I have to take my time. I have to exercise, maybe meditate, eat the right food, blah, blah, blah. And then you pay it forward from there. Naturally, I understand life is life, and that's just the way it is. But responsibility is responsibility, right? And the self-responsibility. Nobody wants to hear this part. Everybody's like, nah. I'm like, you want to meet ETs and you want Donald Trump to arrest people and you want to do this, you want to do that, but you won't even pick that stuff up off the floor right there. You're going to just make this place just be a dirt mess house. You're going to leave that dog poop on the floor for a month. It's just sitting in the corner. You're just going to ignore it because it doesn't smell or something anymore. It's starting to flake up. Like, pick that stuff up. Right? Metaphorically, naturally. But you all know that person. You all do. I know you do. Right? So you can't be like that anymore. Now is not, how about this? I won't be telling you what to do. Now is just not the time to be that way because you're resisting the upgrade. Right? You're not going with the flow. The mechanism's not working properly because it's not you standing in place expecting things to just happen because you listen to FearLess. Or you listen to Beyond the Veil or the Eye of Ra or the Paranormal Portal. Oh, I know all about this stuff. Well, what are you applying? Have you become a better person from this? And if the answer is yes, with more than 1% or one step in that direction, a quarter step, a half step, as long as your momentum is moving forward, you're in. You're doing it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't matter how
If you're
quickly you're
standing
moving.
still, that's when it sucks. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Non-motivated, no creativity, not understanding, no true definition of self-worth and what am I? What am I doing? What am I going to decide? Look, if you want to decide to take a day and be lazy, say I'm taking today and being lazy, and I love it.
And own it.
Own that. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? All right, look, there's nothing wrong with owning stuff, right? But it doesn't own you. Right? So if I ask you, okay, the house is on fire, your family's inside, and your money, right, and your computer, whatever, your music stuff, and whatever.
Well,
okay,
all your important things.
All your important stuff. Okay, who you saving? If you have a chance to run in, you get an extra 30 seconds. What are you grabbing? Are you taking the people, the animals? All right, like what are you doing? Are you going right for your bank account stuff? Like what's priority to you? Is it the organics or the inorganic? What has you under lock and key so bad that is so important that you can't remake up somehow, some way, in one way or another, when you know life and death is just, even with reincarnation, if Pop goes, he's dead. He'll reincarnate back over there, but you ain't going to know that. You're not going to recognize that, right? So you want to maybe save raw organic Pop, grandpa or grandma, the baby. If you're thinking my beer and my refrigerator, my car, my computer, you need to rethink your whole story. It doesn't matter if the cure for cancer is in that computer, if your wife or kid is sitting there and you have one choice to make.
True.
Right? All right, so I wrote some stuff down now that I brought this up. I know the fires, like we were just talking about this before the show. But one of the things I noticed now, naturally during wildfires, animals.
Oh, that's way nice. Yeah.
Excuse me. The wildfires will disrupt nature 100%. It's destroying. It's this cleansing burn that's coming through. Everything on one side of it is running for its life. Everything on the other side of it has been pretty much sent the other direction. Okay. I see people leaving their pets behind in times of I've never really seen this before, but I have seen this
But
before.
a lot of the times it's not their fault because the shelters don't take the pets. So
during these forest fires,
where do you go? What do you do?
When you're making a run for it, I saw some people leaving their animals on the beach, which I thought was smart. Like some people had exotic animals. They were just putting them on the beach and taking off. But dogs, lots of dogs, cats, abandoned.
Right. That's terrible.
And I understand you got to make a run for it. I'm just, maybe you guys have a better answer. I know it's important to save yourself. I know you got to, if it's a choice between me and Paula or me, Paula, and one of the other cats, or one of us could die. I get it. I understand. But people are just abandoning and leaving them behind. And just as well, you're loading into a car and going. Like, you can't leave your furry buddies behind. These animals are just as hurt as you in the situation. And I know I'm working this situation backwards, and I'm starting from the animals forward through the fire because
they are just as worried. They're just as scared as you are. And now you're not there. Exactly. So they have no one. They didn't
want things in their life. They didn't you came into their life.
Yeah, they didn't ask to be bought or rescued or traded or however you obtain them. They didn't ask for that. You chose that.
And I know everyone's losing stuff and it's terrible. And I send love to everyone that's in California. Now I'm going to step it up a notch. We were talking about what is wrong with California. What is literally wrong with the area now? You have the giant paradise areas and everything.
Gone. Done.
You're done. You're beat. Why is this happening, though? Didn't we have something like this also happen at the beginning of the year? I don't remember, but where we were talking about directed energy weapons being used because the whole area was burnt out, but certain things were left standing. Is anyone seeing that? I only got 2 minutes, but we'll come back and we'll talk about it. But
Does it look to you like it's directed
you have
energy?
You have right at this time of great energy, new energies coming in, elections happening, things going on, distractions everywhere. You got like a caravan coming up from one direction. You have a fire burning down from another direction. There's this big squeeze on California.
And
Is
now
California broke? Wait.
And all of those people are now displaced from those fires. They're all displaced.
Was that a cigarette flick that started, and then they said, well, coinky dink time, let's help move it, because I'm seeing beams of directed energy weapons that are being, like, it just beams from the sky. I can't explain it. Maybe it's fake. Maybe it's not. I'm kind of seeing it with the people that study this stuff, though. So if one of them's real, then right? Just one. We're like, Now, can it be steered? Maybe it wasn't started with the DO weapon. Is California doing this on purpose so they could collect federal funding, so they could get more billions when they get billions and billions just disappear? Now, I'm not accusing. I'm just making statements. What is going on? What is California even owned by the U.S.? Are they making the new super train that goes from New York to Cali and all those other sweet places on the mag lift? Is that what's going on? Are they clearing out the rich areas? All right, when we come back, Paula had a cool, interesting, take on what's going to happen with the displaced rich people now. I appreciate you, every one of you, for being here tonight. And I love you guys very much. Wear your protection from your deception. So we're going to start breaking through more of these deception layers, and this violence and the crazy fires that are burning. What is happening? I know it's happening. We're going through the eye of the needle. It's the eye of the storm, baby. We're here. Time to project up. Unite the tribes.
Real people, real radio. Wherever you are, make it TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world.
Shout out to Rob, my Rob. Shout out to John, the Paranormal Portal. Greatest night in radio, man. I love being here. I love being part of this.
I do too.
Yeah, it's a fantastic family to be a part of. What Chris and Cherie have built here is amazing. In times like these, we find ourselves in grid points all over the world map, finding each other through the technology that was to be used to enslave us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We went and found each other. Chris and Cherie built a beacon of hope, a light, a pillar of light in the darkness, something relatable to many, 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 many. I'm forever grateful for that. The holidays are here. Don't forget to go to IamWeAreFearless.com. We reinvented the site. It's awesome. You guys should go there and check it out. I'd appreciate it if you like some stuff. Anything that you purchase on the site, 50% goes directly to the artist. So we're trying to help fund other beautiful beings, creative beings, so they can create more, live
Yeah, but
more.
there's a lot of stuff on there that would be cool, that would make cool Christmas gifts.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not even all about like ayahuasca. It's. I mean, they're just fun. It's fun stuff.
Yeah. It has to do with anything connected.
Yeah, anything
to us in the Fearless mindset. So go over there, check that out. IamWeAreFearless.com. And I love you guys. All right, so right before the break, we were talking about I was talking about the fires, right?
In
California. Now, the displacement of the rich people. Now, we were talking about that before the show. You had kind of made me aware of something I was not even remotely aware of.
Well, there are entire neighborhoods and some cities that are being displaced because of these fires, and you're talking about a higher salary demographic. So now these people are going to have to move somewhere. So they're going to move into the surrounding areas with a higher salary demographic. So they're going to bring up the real estate value in those areas, which may displace
So let me ask you,
some people
if
in those
if
areas.
the really expensive houses in the area are up for sale for long periods of time and can't be sold, it drives the price down because
Mm-hmm.
people can't afford it, right? But if those people can suddenly move in and
Start buying.
reacquire, because for them it's not quite nothing like the mansion overhead. To them it's a downsize for sure, and but they could handle it with no problem. You don't need to displace that many of them for that to affect the equation. In other words, you don't need, if you had 100,000 people displaced, it can affect an entire another area.
That's what I just said.
No, I'm just being more descriptive. That's all. So, upon doing that, you have more now bubbles, systems that are ready to crack, because who can afford anything anymore?
But that's it.
Who can afford higher house?
So the people that live in those neighborhoods now can't afford to live in those neighborhoods.
I showed you an email about my house. That is because of location, and that's unseen. That's like sight unseen. That's just what it's worth. Because so if I squeeze that number and it went up a little bit, it is the most nonsensical, ridiculous number. How does anyone? Why would you want to move into a house in the Bronx for that kind of money? How do you afford that? What are you going to move 20 people into that house?
No, well, if you
Come
work in the city and you want to be in a suburb and you want a little piece of property, that's what you do.
Okay, so where do the people go that can't make the rent? We got to just huddle up and go into houses because that all the market is just completely ridiculous up. I'm just being devil's advocate.
They go further up.
Well, further away.
Further away.
Displacing them further. Interesting.
We can't afford to buy a house in our
not.
neighborhood.
I told you alone, I'm broke in terms of society before. Remember? I was
Yes.
like, because we're not married and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
what my take in is considered below poverty.
Oh yeah, I'm
for
at the
sure.
I think I'm slightly above the poverty line with my
Right.
Social
So
Security.
if I had to
income.
pay the rent here, let's say rent,
If we had to do it,
cable, no, I mean alone. This is one bedroom.
that's
So
what I'm saying.
I'm a
If you had to
single
do
guy.
it, you can do it.
No, but
No.
now studio apartments aren't $750. You're not halving your rent; they're $1,000. So you're only dropping $150. So you still can't do it. I'm just talking. How do you afford that? So this is where
I don't know.
Okay, you don't have to answer. It's rhetorical. So we're headed to a place that no one can really exist in. So it's a culmination.
It is a culmination. I don't understand how they. I don't understand. I just don't understand.
We are beginning to see it. So we can talk out loud about it and say, hey, don't forget, this is going to occur. So that's going to throw everything out of alignment. One end goes out of whack, the other end goes out of whack, right? So you can see almost like we're in the eye of the storm or passing through the tip of the eye of the needle.
Yeah, but it's funny because we talked about this also.
None of this BS and drama and crazy can come with us into the new energies.
But that's exactly what I was going to say. It can't come with us, the craziness. Now, I was purging a lot of stuff, and I had thought I thought I had purged everything there was to purge about this, but I purged. I think the last of it this week was owning my home, and you
owned an entire home, and then with some whatever, and then you had to come here.
So I had to sell my house, and I ended up, something told me, don't buy, because I couldn't afford to buy a home, but because I would have to move into like a condo or a co-op. But something told me, don't do it. Just rent for now. And I remember fighting it. I was like, I don't want to rent. This is exactly what I tried to get away from the last time. I'm still devastated from having to sell my house. So now I thought I dealt with all of this because it's years now. And I was just purging the last of it this week. And Frank and I were talking about it. And I said, I became a very serious when I was a homeowner because, anything could go wrong. And there were a few things that went wrong very early on, and you have no choice but to take care of it financially. Whether you have it or you don't, you have to figure something out and take care of it. And, so it caused me to be extremely serious. And, now we rent, and I have to say, it is following along with what we're talking about. Like, you can't take these things with you. And I was explaining to Frank, like, we rent an apartment and our landlady is 99 years old. And we never ask her for anything because she's 99 years old. So we fix or do anything that needs to be done in the apartment. Now, with that said, there's not a lot that needs to be fixed or be done. But we don't worry that there's no worry that goes along with ownership because we don't own it. I mean, we take care of it like it's ours, but we don't own it. I don't.
This is our ship, and we steer it from home, from the bad.
Yeah.
But,
so there's no.
But we're not going to repaint the walls and go crazy.
No. That's not even what I mean. We don't have ownership worry about it. We pay the rent, and that's the end of it. There's no hidden surprises that are going to pop up that we have to pay for, and it's a good feeling. Because as we are going through this ascension process, you really can't take those worries with you. They won't fit, like the responsibility. We don't have to take that with us. It doesn't fit. We can't take it. We have to leave it behind. That worry of responsibility.
There's a different form of responsibility that we're learning. And I have this feeling when they say new earth, that's just a mental zone, right? Like a new way of thought and thinking that the process we've been moving through along the whole time is going to come to, at some point, a screeching halt, where the 40-hour work week, which is already driving, and then it's actually taking 60 to 80 hours to get anything done, it's going to stop. There's going to be a new way and a new design to do things because that stress and the level of crazy just cannot be there. It's like, I feel like this world's going to pop. This is going to drive us into the next thing. So you have Donald Trump shooting down the CNN guy, Costa, right? And I don't like talking about politics on the air, but I want to show you guys something. He was... Okay, distraction after distraction. He shoots down CNN's fake news. There's a ballot dispute in Florida, right, in Broward County, go figure, that lovely Broward County. And then a shooting occurs in California. Then the fires. But the fires are, I'm looking at photos. I have them up on my timeline. I showed you right before the directed weapons. So you're seeing something occur bigger than what we expected, right? Is the politics shifting into a weird position where there's a heist going on of some kind where they're putting everyone in a position that they're going to strike? Or is this full clown shoes in the mist to distract you from leveling up because you're going through the 11-11-11 or, that 11-118 portal that this month is filled with the new energies? Are you being distracted by them, attacked by it, lost inside the drama? Or is this all playing out now right in front of you? Is this it? Is this that time that everyone's been waiting for? Is the one that is known as the Jester going to pull the ace card? From what I've seen, I would have to kind of say in that timeline we're headed for, that optimum timeline, they have to pull the card. What is that card? Something I was thinking. Everyone's shuffling around. I'm great at the bumping, the looky-loo, the pump and move, right? So Sessions steps down. He resigns. Trump asks him to. So he wasn't fired. He's moving. But now he can talk because he's not in the position where he can't speak, right? So they move a guy from his own team into position. So you got Sessions' boy moving into place or into a position, someone from his camp. So it's like you wouldn't do that if you thought someone was a piece of trash. Now I'm trying to see through the distractions while everything's going on at the power move. What's the power move? Right? They're shutting down fake news. They're not letting them into the White House. Okay, is this a power move on the one world government and the new world order? Or is this the anti-new world order move? Right? We're talking about two timelines, right? We're running down that thing. One, we'll have the new world order and the AI attachments and all that crazy stuff. The other one will not. It'll have light beings and Trump and all kinds of stuff. Whether you want to believe it or not, the next stages that we go through are somewhat of a fixing of society by it breaking down, right? And then refixing itself properly, right? So there could be a power move in there to take everything or to release everything, right? You could go one side or the other. So we're pushing our consciousness towards that, seeing through the distractions. What is the power move? Set up your whole team and then strike on all the mimics. Come from a place of where they think you're weak and pathetic, right? Look at this clown shoes. Meanwhile, none of that affects allowing the beings that were there the whole time now to step into position. What is your take on this? I'm kind of curious. I mean, this is metaphorically happening in life too. Parties are separating, teams are separating. All right, here's something. This week, a bunch of us either got kicked out of groups or unfriended because of who we are. I lost 3 friends this week, right? I thought we were all on the same page, right? But because I said something a little off that maybe they didn't like, they're just unfriending and leaving. It's like, no. We're all still on the same team.
You don't know if that's why they unfriended or left, so don't say that because you don't know if that's why. You could have said anything. You don't know if that's why they left. They could have just left because they left.
Right. Well, it was who they were. That's why I question it so hardcore, right? When you're like, why would those? That's like B team crew. So I'm not going to call anybody out or anything, but I see that it happened to a whole bunch of other people. And I'm like, but we're all on the same side. You're not going to learn anything by just getting rid of everyone. I can understand the NPCs and the person yelling, Satan is God or whatever, but you're still not going to learn anything if you just stick and conglomerate with the one side and not look back into the mirror and see what's happening. Just something I've noticed, by the way. I know Paula does not care about that at all. She's like, I don't even really look at Facebook.
No, I do, but I don't care. I don't, and I don't mean it like
Explain why though.
I
because
don't mean
it's
it
good to not care the way you do.
I don't mean it like I'm being a dick. Like I don't care. I don't mean that. Like I don't care. But it's more like this is it. This is who I am. I am not the same person I was a long time ago, and I'm not even the same person I was a month ago.
6 minutes ago.
I'm different. And this is it. So love me or don't. But know that I try to be as true to myself as I can be. And that's hard. I mean, there are some times I struggle and it is hour to hour. And then there are some times when I am just bobbing and weaving through life and it is wonderful. And sometimes I'm floating, but there has been a lot of purging going on in so many different forms, like with everything and, things that I thought were done that obviously weren't done. But I think that the last of it, the last of it is done. And I realize now that Frank and I emotionally, we're in a good place, financially it could be better. But I think for everyone, it could be better. But emotionally, we're in a good place and we're happy. And that's what it comes down to.
But the idea is to work at that and really want that right? Don't expect the other person. Don't control the other person. Work together, right? Men be men. Stand up. Be a man. It's okay to cry, men. But let your woman, all right, let her blossom now. You know, it's funny. Christy called me and we were talking, and she was out in L.A. and she was saying, from her perspective, she saw a lot of attacks on women, like straight up rapes and punching and
Well,
stuff.
didn't
And
she got physically sick there?
oh yeah, no, we were both. She was sick like me.
Yeah, she got physically
there
sick
and
there.
hit me up and asked me if I was
wonder
okay.
if it was because the energies were so different.
Well, her being my etheric sister and all.
Yeah.
Okay, so naturally, and I said to her, the last time when you were here in the house and we had the ayahuasca session, and I got sick, you were here for that, and it was the day it started.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's interesting. You hit me up and asked me if I was okay. But what she was saying is, can you talk about the rising of the feminine again and how men should be a little more protective towards women? And what she was noticing is that women's starting to rise. She hangs out in a lot of circles of women, right? So she's like, I'm watching them begin to rise.
Right.
And then the ones that are rising are getting like punched in the face. Like they're in the wrong place at the wrong time and they're getting robbed. And she's like, but it's happening to like the whole crew, right? So then she had a problem and I'm going, so what are you seeing? She goes, it just seems like these characters are like certain people aren't taking the plate. It's getting more reckless, like the attacks on the rising of the feminine. So I took it metaphorically and on every level. I said, okay, she's right, because on the high level, whoever's in charge at the top, the weird ones that are controlling the whole situation, do not want that sacred feminine to rise no matter what happens. So I would expect a bunch of, craziness to occur. But at the same time, I have to remind the men. We have to be men. We have to be warriors for our women. Don't just throw stuff into the wind anymore with each other. Like you and I have become very hyper compatible.
Yes.
You know all the flaws, you know all the ticks, and you know all the things, and you're still in the pocket like, yep, I'm here.
Yep.
You got to try to hit those chords. You got to go for it. You got to not be afraid to be like sometimes I just walk into the bedroom at night and I'll run in and I'll kiss you and be like, I love you there. And I'll just leave and you'll giggle and walk out and scare me when I have my headphones on. All right. we keep it groovous at all times. If every little thing's going to bother you and you're not going to try to change, don't expect the other person to change. Maybe it's time to move on. I'm not telling you to move on your spouse or anything.
No, we're
letting
just
you know
saying
your situation might suck, but it might be because you're sucking.
Yeah.
But if it's not you sucking and the other person is just terrible,
then be brave enough to talk about it.
yes, or move on. Be brave enough to do what you feel you need to do for you. Right?
It's hard.
And then do stuff like forgive yourself and then forgive what the issue is. When these things come back up.
Yeah, I
like,
was
I'm
purging
sorry,
a lot of
but
that too.
I love you, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Forgive me because I forgive me. And that's it.
I'm trying. That's a hard one. I left a cat behind and he passed. It was my aunt's cat. I should have taken him when she passed. And he was originally my cat, but then he became her cat. And I should have taken him and I didn't. And I think he died from, I'm convinced he died from a broken heart. And I should have taken him. And that's what I've been purging. And
yes, Doc,
been
in the chat room, you're right. The feminist is an overlay on the system to what they want men to be feminized and they want women to be masculated. So this feminine thing came up and went nuts. There's not as many of those as you think. There's a lot of just wannabes, right? The news and the whatever media is pushing that crap. There are small sections. If you really go to those rallies and then put them into the crowds of the other thousands and thousands of true women that want to belong and want to be proud and just want to rise, right? The numbers work in the favor of women, not against the women, but they're being taught and stimulated in college to be these ridiculous things. Like they have this ridiculous mindset about them. So we have to put it. All I'm saying is don't slam doors in girls' faces. Still hold them open. Still be polite and respectful. right? You don't have to bend to a crazy chick's every whim. That's not what I'm saying. It works both ways. The women got to recognize the man, but the man's got to step up and act like a man. Like I'm here. I go into ayahuasca and they say, Frank, you know why we love you? And I go, why? They're like, you never ask for anything. What do you want? Why are you here? Why are you here? And I said, I am here because look how beautiful she is. And they're like, what? And I'm like, okay, naturally, I need to be healed. I need help, right? Naturally. But you asked me a broader question. Why are you here? So I said, because look how beautiful the woman is. My woman is beautiful. It's not just this, but I know that connection to you. Everyone else in one way or another has a connection like that to something or someone or a pet or a person. And I'm like, that should be exploited in the best of ways. So I should watch her grow. And if anyone's going to stunt her growth, I almost went deep right there. If anyone's going to stunt her growth, they'll be met with me. That doesn't mean I'm going to hit everyone on the head with a hammer that comes in here. I'm going to be understanding and legitimate. But for sure, if you're up in here forcing your crap down our throat and she can't handle it, I'm here to handle it, period. Right? It's got to go back to one hand is going to wash the other. Paula and I are not exactly alike in any way. No. We just complement you. We're the same coin, two different sides, though. You hear us talk. She doesn't care about some of this stuff because to her, she's like, dude, you don't need all that. You don't need to talk to the beings. You don't need the ankh. You don't need this. You don't need that. But some people do. See, that's the other 50%. I'm the other 50%. The exciting story, the this and that. Right? The other 50% are like, dude, I just want to live my life, do some yoga, maybe a little meditation, pet my cat, make sure I have money for groceries. Like I'm in this system and I got to kind of break free. Maybe space gorillas with helmets and lasers aren't for me, but living my life the best I can is. So they get Paula, right? So we're attacking from two fronts. We just learned to blend because that's the truth in the balance. The truth is in the balance, right? Some days she's in charge for sure. And some days I got to step up and do what I got to do and be in charge. Like it's just the way it is. And we handle it. And it's a perfect balance. It's a system that we work hard to keep in a positive place, in a good place. And, you know, you follow the routine and systems and loops, but you got to get back to where you belong, right? Ground to that higher frequency and start putting out that good stuff. Do what's right for you, what's good for you. You only got a minute left, so is there anything you'd love to tell these wonderful people out there in Radio Land?
I love them all. That's all they need to know. That's all you need to know. You know, it's awesome that, you know, you see the beings and you can talk to the beings, but you also have to live in this life as well. And if you're living in this life, you have to make it the best life you can make it. You know, that doesn't mean having the best things. That means being the best person. And being the best person doesn't mean every minute of the day you have to be the best person. It means trying to be the best person as often as you can.
Yes, and Marco, everyone does need space gorillas in their lives. Ooh, And thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
You're pretty awesome.
You're pretty.
But you know what? You're my protection from deception.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love you.
Remember to purge those demons. Remember, tentacle bad. Light from higher realms and frequencies good.